I can hear the bacon. Can you?
This is Sizzle Lean, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios here in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. Here's your host of Sizzle Lean, Karen Dougherty.
I always wonder how you're going to say my name. And I'll answer to every single one of them. Yay! I'm super excited for this week. I'm just going to get right into it. My friend Stephanie Rofkhar is back. That's Fit for 5. Yay! And I brought her back for a solid reason. We really want to talk about peptides, and we're going to talk about peptides. And I'm excited to learn about all this because I really, too, am going to be new at this. So take notes if you want to. I have my little pen and paper. I'm ready. But before we get into that important information, I have to mention that my friend Stephanie Rofkhar was on this podcast a month ago, and I said, "What's next in your career?" And she said, "Oh, well, we'll see." And you know what she went and did, Steve? She went.
What is that, Karen?
She went and won a bodybuilding contest.
Oh, yeah,
number one. For the NPC, which is, it's a lot. And she won for 2 classes. She won for 45 and up, and it's well deserved. And I'm going to shut my face. I just had to mention it because it was so funny how you said stuff. You were like, I don't know. We'll see what I'm up to.
Well, first of all, do
you remember saying that?
I do, because my motto is
I do know your motto.
Don't tell people your plans, show them your results. And I honestly, anytime I tell people my plans, which everyone knows I'm going to nationals now. So, but when I do my first initial, I just do better that way. As long as people don't know, because if people ask me or kind of not hound me, but like, what are you doing? Or then it kind of just lets the anxiety build up, and I just do better that way. I always have. Yeah. But obviously people.
Well, I remember you teaching me that. You taught me that back in 2020 when I met you. You were like, I never, don't tell people, just do it. And I was like, that's so true. And I agree. I think that happens to people. Sometimes I don't know. It's like sabotage, but I get it. I think it's a great theory, and it obviously works for you. And so I am so happy for you. Congratulations. I love the pictures so much. I forwarded them to Steve because I want them to be on cast. I love the one where you're eating the medal. That's my favorite one. And there's some history to this, like that has been a show that which city did you win in?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, Tulsa. Great. Yeah. So yeah, it is coming in and out. I'm having a hard time hearing you, Stephanie. 1 second. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm, I can hear you perfect.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll just keep going. I just wanted to congratulate you. It's a fantastic win, and I just am so happy for you, your husband, your whole family, and I won't drone on and on too much about it, but is there anything that you can, what this means to you? And we know you prepared in your training and your mindset, but is there anything that stands out that you want to say before we move on?
Well, it just felt really great because I said I retired at 50, and I just couldn't find anything else. I have to have a goal. I used to run marathons. I used to do 5Ks like in my 20s and half marathons, and I moved to full marathons in my 30s. and I just always had to have a goal. And I just kind of felt lost the last 2 years. And I tried pickleball because all my friends love pickleball. And Karen, you're like me. I'm not going to be old. I mean, I'm not going to be old. And not that pickleball is old by no means, but I mean, I really love the dedication of, competing. And so I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I got a lot
Right.
slack from, people are always can be ugly. I mean, I have great people that cheered me on like you did, but then also I heard through the grapevine, like, why is she doing this at her age? And I'm like, okay, well, just keep feeling
Are
my
you
fire.
kidding me?
I might be 80 and still doing it. But
you know what, Steph, I want to say that as a coach myself. Granted, I don't coach bodybuilding, but I will tell you, you have a lot of years left in you as an athlete, for sure. That's not because you're my friend. That's because I know how to look at that kind of stuff, even though I'm not a bodybuilding. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm saying to you as a professional. So you've got a lot of years left in you. I wouldn't stop. Heck
I
no.
would. I would never. Actually, that just fuels my fire. But I will have to say I felt the best that I ever felt post-show. And I don't know if it was the peptides. I don't know if it's because I took the time off. I don't know if it was my mindset or that I really appreciated the sport, more so. And then, and I kind of did it my own way. I actually came in 8 pounds heavier, which did play. And you know this too, from competing and just being a woman, that freaking scale will pay, more to your mind. But I thought, I am not going to go so lean and kill myself to get stage lean just for a judge who doesn't matter, that might not like my dark hair or like blonde hair or like someone thin. I did it my own way. And I came in with more muscle and 8 pounds heavier. And now, I'm anxious to see what I'm going to do for national. I actually did push myself back for nationals because I did get feedback. And this, I need to balance my upper body with my lower body. And so, which we know with judges, it's always in the eye of the judges. But I do agree, because my upper body leans out so much faster than my lower body. And we can't spot reduce. You know that as well. I don't even care what peptides, you can't spot reduce. So I'm really going to build upper body. And so I actually will not compete until Labor Day weekend now. I was going to compete mid-July, but, I want to bring my best.
Right.
So yeah, so that
cool.
So that,
I mean, I'm at your picture right now.
Even though I don't share my plans, that is my plan, because everyone, it's out. Everyone knows I competed. So
right. I just always have thought I always thought you looked good with a little bit of more weight on too, and I'm glad you chose that, because I remember in the past looking at your pictures, and yeah, I'm so happy. God, good job, girl. Good job. Oh,
hey,
I'm so proud of you. You look so good.
I did want to say across there it says .com. Mine's actually .co, fit45.co. And so everything, even our peptide business.
Oh, I got you. Yep.
Yeah, I know that's easy. A lot of people do that. We couldn't get the .com, and then when we did our website for our peptide business, we couldn't get .com. So so it kind of worked out good. It's liveprime.co. But let's get on to peptides. So I'll tell you.
Yes, let's do it, because I don't want to cut you off. We'll have to I know you love talking about this and you're passionate. So I did put together some stuff, so we'll keep going, because I know you have other things to do tonight. I don't want to keep you here too long. So just tell me.
Yes, so I'm going to tell you first a little bit of what peptides are, but then I'm going to go in about when I started my peptides. So peptides are what our body makes naturally, and they decline as we age. So they are short chains of amino acids made out of protein, but then as we age, like everything, but they send molecules to our cells to tell our cells what to do. Like, to fight inflammation, or, to lean out, even though we're doing all of the things. So with me, I have been an affiliate with a peptide company for 2 years. We purchased it from them in November. They had wanted us to, but just with an election year and everything, we just wanted to wait to see where things went. Well, December 1st, I talked about in the last podcast that I gained, a lot of weight last year with my fungi infection. But I knew that when I started Semarelin, which is a very popular peptide. Now, does it work for all women? No. There's, I like to read lab work and all that to see what best lean works for people. But Semarelin is what works for me. So, but I knew that I didn't want to waste my 12 weeks because you do have to cycle on, cycle off. I hate to say that because I'm in the bodybuilding industry and it does sound like,
Right.
you and
I know.
I grew up in the steroid era. And so, and peptides are not steroids. So I decided to put myself in a cut December 1st. And I did not put myself on a peptide except BPC that everyone should be on. And I offer it in gel form, capsule form, or injectable. So it just is for inflammation. It's part of the glow up. It's great for energy, for gut health, for skin. It is one of the most universal peptides on the market. It's BPC 157, and ours comes with TB 500. So I thought I'm going to give myself a rhythm and then we'll do like everyone else January 1st. So I just spent all of December, not being perfect, enjoyed the holidays, but got myself in a rhythm. Then January 1st, I started myself on a Semarelin cycle for 12 weeks to help build lean muscle because I knew I only had 12 weeks and I didn't want to waste it getting into a rhythm. So I do tell a lot of people, like if they're new to the peptides, especially if it's a lean muscle one or fat loss one, to really work for about 4 weeks, getting themselves in a rhythm, getting themselves, if they don't work out or if they're trying to eat more protein or if they're getting their water, to get on a schedule. Because if you start your first 4 weeks on a peptide and you're kind of just, you know how it is, you're not being perfect or you can't get yourself in a rhythm, you've kind of wasted that 4 weeks, if that makes sense.
Right. True. So wait a second, back up just a little bit. All right. So why would I'm 58, 59 years old. I get Botox 1, 2, 3 times a year. I don't get a lot. No fillers, nothing like that. But I want you to know that because I heard a rumor that peptides help with that.
Yes.
I have a little bit of body fat, but not a lot because of but let's pretend I'm not a fitness trainer. I'm just a regular girl that doesn't train all the time.
Well, let me kind of talk about all this. So the difference between peptides and Botox. So peptides are going to regenerate the cells. They are going to, I've gotten Botox before. I can't believe that it burns off me in 2 weeks. Like it was just like throwing money out the door.
Because you can metabolize it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, so, but what happens is, where Botox freezes the muscles, peptides give you the, fix the cells, which it helps with your skin elasticity. And the GHKCU is for skin elasticity, for wrinkles, just overall texture. But the Glow Up series is BPC 157, NAD, which is for cellular health, and then GHK. So all those three work together. So my clients who still get Botox, they are able to go longer. And the more you get Botox, that at least you're only getting it 3. Like some people get it, really, really regular. And your body.
I know. That's why I wanted to mention it. I don't get a lot of it, but I do use it. I'm like the average woman age-wise that might be interested in peptides because we're starting to get more tired. Our energy is starting to lag. We've gone through menopause. Let me take a little step here.
Well, NAD.
We've gotten through menopause and we're ready to so I was wondering with this part of, and I feel like there's a lot of us out there, right? You're only a little bit younger than me. And rather than take these things, like this is almost natural. Am I right?
Yeah, it is because so like the NAD, our body at the age of 40 our NAD starts declining. So that has been a game changer. Now you're going to appreciate this story because you have a boy. So my son, I knew I was competing. So I came home on a Sunday and I was competing in Tulsa that Saturday. So I had 6-day window and I started peak week. Well, I knew I couldn't drink any caffeine and I don't anyway, but I would have if I wasn't competing. Well, my son, 15. So he was like, my daughter drove to Charlotte with me, but I drove home 17 hours by myself with my son. And I was like, Ram, I cannot drive straight through. I'm not a driver. I cannot do it. We are not stopping, Mom. We are not stopping, Mom. And I said, Ram, I'm not going to do it. So anyways, well, the anxiety of a 15-year-old boy that's been gone for a month. So I gave myself an NAD injection. So NAD is for energy that morning. And then we also have NAD and nasal spray. So every 3 hours, I looked like I was snorting something, but I was spraying the NAD nasal spray so that I could stay awake. So I drove 17 hours because the anxiety of my son.
I get it. I do know.
Oh yeah. He was like, me and my daughters, because I have 2 older daughters, we would have stopped at every TJ Maxx on the way home, spent the night,
had coffee.
Yeah.
Boys, it's fun.
Yeah. Boys, no, there's no shopping involved. I mean, I'm like, okay, these men learn this at a young age. So I get home after driving 17 hours and I am wired. And, I'm a very low key person. So I can only imagine you on it. And my husband was like, what in the world have you taken? I go, it's the NAD. And I mean, every 3 hours. And I mean, I drive on feather. So our body, just like, like my son, I get a lot of people because he's 15 and they're saying, what can our son take so in high school so that he can be what peptide? And I will not let them. I said, a 15-year-old boy's testosterone will never in his life be as often. Why do you think we get girls pregnant in high school? And I'm like, you never mess with that.
Right.
But as we get age, our NAD go down. Our skin elastic, ever since I've added GHKCU, which is a copper peptide, my brown spots, and I've been on it since 6 months, for 6 months since January, my brown spots on my hands are diminishing. My skin is never better. So it is the ultimate glow up. So that's stuff that Botox will not do. Botox freezes the muscle.
Right. No way.
Where peptides replenish the cells, give you that, that oomph back.
And back to the Botox thing, you get to a certain age, like I'm at that, and like I said, I get it 3 times a year. You get to an age where you kind of age out of it, like
well, what I have
it's not gonna
with my older clients.
I just don't need it.
Well, they start looking too swollen, is what I've noticed.
Yeah, like I just I am a certain age, and it starts to look like I used to use it because it would enhance my beauty, right? But then it starts to, I don't know how to explain it, because the younger I was, I used more, which sounds weird, but it's the truth. Because I know I don't want to look different. I was always trying to just look like me and look better, but like that's why I wanted to mention my age. I wanted to mention that I do use Botox a little bit compared to a lot of people, but like now brown spots, like this is a good time in our lives, I feel like, to do this kind of stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It is. I mean, also my husband always does my own tan, and my husband said, now it's a copper, GHK is part of the glow up, is a copper peptide, which is for your skin coloring. And so my husband said, your tan has never gone on better than it has since you've been doing peptides. And then also, and I see all these men that are, not to knock Steve, but I see these men that promote peptides, and they're talking about melanotan, which that is GHKCU is what you should use for tan. People that have used melanotan, I don't even have it in my stock. I don't even have it on my website. It will make you look like Oompa Loompa. It would make you look orange, because it's a peptide for tanning. And I hear a lot of women come to me for that. And I'm like, absolutely not. I won't even sell it to anyone but GHKCU is
I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have peptides that will make you darker.
That's kind of cool.
But the melanotan one, and that's why I tell people, and I want to mention this too as well. We have a website just for people to know we're legit. But Big Pharma fights the peptide companies, and we are a small business. And by the time we pay for our website, someone to run it, to keep accountable of it, our CLA fees, which is a peptide fee, credit card fees, we barely break even. But also when you purchase through me, I have you fill out a form link and you get personal. I'm not trying to be some huge, big company out there. I want to be able to know my clients just like how you train your clients. And I want to be able to guide them. There's so many people that have bought peptides. And then when they knew I've got into it, they're like, oh, I bought this off a website, but I just got it in the mail and I didn't know what to use it. Well, when you buy from us, we actually give you how to use it.
Well, I have to be honest. I went snooping on y'all's website because I would never buy it from anyone else but you. I'm just wait because I agree with you. Big Pharma is so shady and
Honestly,
I hate to mention this, but I'm in recovery. So you build relationships in certain, and I'm not comparing this to my old life, but you do want to know where you're getting your stuff. It sounds so silly, but I bet you understand what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. So I would Oh, yeah, that's why I'm so interested. I went on the website and I looked at your contact thing because I was interested in sending it to a friend. Sounds funny.
Well,
I need it for a friend. But yes,
well,
I would
I
definitely recommend you.
Yeah, and we don't even have it updated. We have some stuff that's not even on there. We offer GLPs, but we don't even have it on that because of Big Pharma. They'll really shut. I always kind of thought all that was just a hoax. Oh no. Now that we're in it, I mean, and I'm like, we're just a small, I mean, we couldn't be hurting them. They want to crush and they pay, just like I have clients that are doctors that are on my peptides. They're like, oh yeah, we get paid to keep people sick. I mean, some have even gotten out of the industry being doctors. And that's why when I trained for my functional nutrition, because they said we literally are being paid to keep our patients sick. But anyway, that's a topic for another.
If you think of construction, like obviously it's for economy. Like even construction now, everything's so cheap because it's built to break and they're paid to make us sick. I mean, it's all so they can make more money, and it's sad. And I'm glad that you mentioned Big Pharma.
Well, and you and I realized that as we grew, I mean, we're both close to the same age. And I tell people, because I'm a nutrition coach, I'm like, the Cheerios I ate as a kid are not the same Cheerios today. The water hose that I drink out of as a kid is not the same water hose. This is another big subject because I have a lot of clients on GLP-3, which I wish I'd had that back when I was going through menopause. So they've had to change the names of the GLPs, which are the weight loss shots. GLP-1 used to be called semaglutide. GLP-2 used to be called tirzepatide, and GLP-3 is retatrutide. Retatrutide is a game changer for my clients that are in menopause now or postmenopausal that are trying to lose that belly fat. As long as it's a tool, though, just like I tell them, it still is a tool for you to work out and to eat your protein. Nothing will ever overtake that. But they'll say to me, well, I don't understand. My grandmother went through menopause and we didn't even know it, or she didn't tell us about it. And I go, well, your grandmother didn't work. Your grandmother didn't have a cell phone that carried around with her. Your grandmother didn't have the stress of, everything going on because there's so much going on in the world. I said, your grandmother didn't grow up with chemtrails. Your grandmother grew up on a farm where she was eating her own food. I said, so it is not the same. So don't even try to compare.
No, the food alone grandma got to eat compared to ours, right? Tell me, what about, I know there's different peptides for different issues, and GLPs would be for like fat loss. Am I right there? What about like memory and like I'm so concerned about more my brain health now that I'm hitting 60. Like I'm not as concerned about the fat and stuff like that. I mean, I still am, obviously. I always will be. Me and you will always be.
Okay, well, the best one for that is, I know you know the creatine. So back when you and I started in the bodybuilding and that's not a peptide, but creatine, was so like, oh, you can't take creatine. Creatine is one of the best things for Alzheimer's and dementia. Every woman should take it. Also, we have C-Link, which is a injectable peptide. that is good for anxiety. It says it's good for depression too, but it's mainly for anxiety. BPC 157 is for brain fog. That's what I said. It's that gel, and it is literally, when you put it on your body, it knows what to fight, what is going on. So the BPC gel is for brain fog. A lot of clients have ADHD, that works great for them as well.
That's really what I should have said, because I always say brain fog and blah, blah, blah. But really for me, it's the ADHD. And as I age, it's just getting worse. Like, it comes in handy too, having ADHD. I can do a million things. Like, I kind of am grateful I have it in a weird way. And I've never taken drugs for it, except back in the old days. But that's what it is. Now that I'm aging, it's almost more rampant, where even makes.
Well, my husband suffers from ADHD, and so he is like you. And like you said, you can either do a lot of things going on, or sometimes you do too much and then it just shuts you down.
Yeah.
So I live with an ADHD, and it's very hard. But so NAD is great for is great for ADHD. So yes, they're so beneficial for it. And like I said, that Glow Up series, that is just really one of the best. Some clients have said, which I don't know if I believe it, I think it's really more the NAD and the BPC, but they're like, oh, adding that GHKCU, I felt like I could stay focused, which I really think, because I just kind of started adding that with my clients. I really think it was the BPC gel that it just finally kicked in. Because I always tell people it takes about 2 weeks. Because and you know,
I bet.
It takes 2 weeks for your body, even if you start a workout regimen or change your diet. And the older we are, I tell some people it takes 4 weeks. Even on the weight loss. Like, I have my younger people that they only have to do like an 8-week cycle on like a fat loss or lean muscle building peptide, where I didn't even start seeing any results until week 7.
Right. Interesting. And that's somebody who's really fit and full of muscle.
Yes. So everyone, but the older we are, and you know this, and I tell people, and nobody in their 20s is going to listen how easy it is. But I tell those in their 40s, really, once you hit 40, start, because I'm telling you, I know you believe this too. Every 10 years, I swear something gets slower or messes up or kicks us in the rear. It really does.
I agree. I think it starts really early too, because, and I love that you said that, every 10 years, and maybe that was you and me that was talking about it. I remember going through some weird stuff in the beginning of my 30s, then my 40s and my 50s, obviously, and everybody called it menopause. But I remember, and they were different, everything had a different symptom. And I'm not surprised if men go through some stuff too. I think hormones change. We change. How could we not? It's ridiculous to think that we don't.
Well, I have as many male clients as I have females. And did you know, I actually learned this in my functional schooling, but men in their 20s, it used to always be, it was the women's fault that when they couldn't have children. Now they've actually found it's more men. Men in their 20s have the lowest testosterone right now than in any time in history. And it's because toxins in the air, but they also eat fast food. They have the phones. Also, a lot of them, they have just like industrial jobs, like work in my area, the oil fields and gas and line. Yeah. And so there's so much of that toxins, but or their linemen. And so they actually have the lowest, they've said, in the history ever in their 20s.
Oh, that's such a shame.
It is. And I have a teenage boy. And like I said, then I've had a lot, because of me having a 15-year-old boy. They're like, okay, well, what can my son take? Or is there a peptide for him? And I'm like, you do not touch them. You let them take creatine and take amino. That is it. Because I said they will never, ever, ever get it back. Never will get it this often.
I know. Isn't that interesting how, that's a whole different, you don't want to mess with them at that age.
No.
But so it is popular with the men too. for sure. The
It is.
peptides. The
Really,
peptides
really.
attracts me. It really does. I'm not going to lie, because it makes me feel like it's something that's natural. How do you feel? I've been taking notes on my note thing. So wait a second. Let me look and make sure we've covered stuff. How do you feel about the price? Do you feel like it's fair pricing? And how
Well,
much
my
around
price,
would you say?
well, I've kind of looked around. I thought, I wonder why I'm always so busy, which, I'm not going to, that's just not my personality. And it's not your
Right? You're like, am I
personality.
charging enough?
Yeah. But I'm looking, I'm like, maybe I need to up my prices because I really am cheap because I see all this. But then I'm like, these people are killing these people. I mean, I want to say the bad word, you know what I'm thinking, but I'm like, they're really like, and I'm like, it's hard to make it. And I want to be able to make it, but then also help other people too. But no, I have, because I'm really having a hard
I
time.
know. I'm guilty of that too.
I would do my job for
Mhm.
free. I think you would too if I didn't need the money. And so,
I
but
know.
like,
I think you often, because you did do it for free for a long time. And I have a couple right now that I'm kind of doing pro bono. You can't help it. They slip into your business, like a girl that really needs me, that's coming back from a dance injury, and has, it's just, and it's a, by it, but stuff slips in pro bono, they call it, right?
yes, yeah. And
But yeah, you
yes.
got to charge for it. How much is it about a month? Would you say 300?
Oh, you can't go
Got
by
it.
that. So the Glow Up series, so the BPC gel is $199, but that lasts 4 months. The
Oh,
NAD 500 will last 6 weeks. It's $99. And then the GHKCU for a month supply is $55. So
you're
that will
kidding
be,
me. You're saying numbers that I could actually afford.
it is really, really crazy. Like Retatrutide, it's $300 a month. That's a GLP-3. Some people can get out 6 weeks of it because I like to microdose my clients. But no, I hear about these spas and things, which I know we own our company, so that does help. So that cuts the middleman out. But I'm like, these people can't keep up with this at that price. So. But also peptides are injectable, and a lot of women, they don't like, it's just, and especially our generation, because we grew up, injecting anything is steroids, it's bad. But some peptides are better
Yeah.
injectable versus capsule form. But I do have, like, tesofessine is one of my most popular for sugar cravings, and it is a capsule form, and it's for those who don't want to do a GLP or that, which is an injectable, or they are a candidate for it. So that's a great way to start. But I have a wait list for that. And also, just the lab.
And the nose,
Yes.
the
Now
nasal stuff too, I bet.
yes. I love the NAD nasal, but some of that stuff's hard to make. And our lab is out of Arizona, and they're backed up. They're a small business too. And I trust them so much, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to start looking for, I don't want to do that, but they just can't keep up with what I
Right.
need.
I know it is hard when you build that trust. Any
Yeah.
safety or any myths you feel like, and I guess we kind of covered that with
Well,
where you said people kind of get scared, the whole drug thing or steroid thing.
yes, but I will say another thing. The only thing that no one should take is if they have breast cancer history is NAD. So it could be a drive for breast cancer. It could be. I have, sometimes I'm a mix, but I do always offer my clients, some of my clients, if they could be a carrier, that is up to them. I'm just always honest with them. I always say too, though, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like is kind of myth, but then also if you believe that it's going to give you breast cancer, or you believe that it's going to hurt you, then it is. And I know you think that way too. Then I'm like, don't. So I do always,
I agree. Yeah. If you have fear, yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. You could, just if you have, my mom used to always say, if the answer going when I was a little girl, but I use it as a grown up too. Like if I'm standing there going, I just don't know. Well, then no for now, And
Yes,
so
yes.
if a girl is just not sure with health wise, I want to get you because I know you have another meeting. I just want to check my notes because, like I said, I'm glad I got to take a bunch of notes. It was so interesting. Your personal
But
journey
yes,
with them, everybody can
I
benefit.
talked about everything. The only thing that yes, peptides. Now I will say a lot of my clients that they're like, well, I took Cimarella and it didn't do anything for me. Well, then this is me. I'm like, okay. And then and you know me, I'm very honest. I'll say, okay, did you take it 6 days a week? Like I said, well, no, because like I traveled, so I only did 4 days 1 week, and then I didn't do it this other. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, well, did you strength train? Well, no, this week I only strength trained 2 days. I'm like, okay. That's why it didn't work.
Just like coaching.
Just stick to the rules. Stick
It's
to the
just
rules.
like
I'm
coaching,
like,
isn't it, Steph?
peptide
You're like,
would
okay.
have worked. But don't tell me it didn't work when you didn't put in the work. And I tell people all the time, because 20 years ago, weight loss surgery was a big thing. And then when people would get the weight loss surgery, they didn't learn the new habits, and then they'd gain the weight back. I'm like, peptides are not any different. They are a tool. Now, obviously, the glow up, if you're going to eat like junk all the time, is your face going to glow and look good? No. But, it's going to help, it's going to be better than not do anything. But I'm like, it's a helpful tool. At the end of the day, for the rest of our lives, for the rest of the world, it always will be what you put in your mouth and how you move your body. It will always, there's nothing that can ever change.
You're right. And how much water you drink and how much sleep you get, right? I mean, it's just, it's never going to end.
Well, I said, I know I hated that I was coming on today because I'm so puffy because I have a daughter that's fixing to move out of the country. And God, she's called me twice while I've been on this. And so she's calling me, and if I miss my window of sleep, even though I have peptides and all that stuff, I still have to have my sleep. Girl, I will be so puffy. I had a group class this morning. I'm like, I know y'all are thinking you won a competition a week ago, because I'm like, y'all, when I don't have sleep, I'm just puffy, and I don't look like myself. So
I'm glad you said that, because I have been struggling with sleep lately and I am puffy. And I'm glad that you said that, because I was kind of like, what is going on with me? Like, and last night I slept really good, but yes, I like that you said the puffy. That's what's happening with me. And I bet caffeine, I try and drink more caffeine to get through it. And
yeah, but no, it truly is.
Well, I'm not going to keep you.
Well, Karen, you know how much
it's
I love
6:54.
Well,
I know, and I could talk to you all night, but I promised you that I wouldn't, that I'd watch the time for you, because I know how busy you are, and I want you to come back. So I want to always abide by what you need, so that way I can keep you coming back and talking to me. There's always something for you and I to talk about. And I love that you spent the time, and I'm sure that I'm going to get with you on, outside of the podcast, and we'll talk about this. And I want to mention before you go, though, the reason why you need to go is because you're in a Facebook group. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. A Facebook group.
Yes.
Your Facebook is how people can get in touch with you.
Well, actually, I will send you the form link, but I do have a form link. Yes, so I have a private Facebook page, and anyone can join. It's called Live Prime Community. So you can search it. It's public to search. But I'm able to talk more, or if you're an email subscriber, because a big pharma, we have to watch what we say, because they will mess up our algorithm, or they'll shadow ban us on social media. So I do talk a little bit about peptides, but I'm not notorious on there. I actually learned that through Hunter Williams. That is a huge peptide guru who lost over 400,000 on YouTube. And then he said also he talks all the time. And he said people don't even see his stuff because of big pharma. I mean, he really puts it out there. I'm surprised they haven't even came and taken his business. But so
that's
anyway,
really interesting.
Oh, it's very interesting. And so, but I also, so you can join that private Facebook page. Anyone can. And then also there, you can connect with me there. And then I have a form link that I like people for the first time to fill out, and I'll send that to you, Karen. But because what it does is I ask you questions like, what are you looking for? Because I have just found that
I snooped. I saw it.
Yeah, they'll Google.
I already saw it.
Yeah, they'll Google and they'll think, oh, I need this, when actually there would be another, because I did Semarelin, but there's also, I've had clients that have done CJC 1295, Ipamorelin, that have worked better for them, or there's AOD 9604. So there, let me tell you, when I had a guy come down for a week and coach me and teach me all the ins and outs on peptides 2 years ago, I thought I was in geometry class. And I remember crying, saying, I will never learn. Now I can rattle it off.
Right. I remember. Yes, I felt like that about Pilates before. I'm never going to learn this.
Yes. And especially the older you are. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hated this in high school. What am I doing?
And you should hear you rattle it off. I totally trust you.
Yes. So, but, so yeah. So there's just,
I do. I'm so in, and I'm so excited about it. And I do want to like send me that contact, and I'm actually getting my website worked on right now by like you probably know Pat from Automate, and I'll connect that somehow or other so people can get to your site for that if they're interested, or anything that you need, or because I want people to get the good information. And I know that you are somebody that really does the research. That's painfully obvious. You can spout these things off, and and I didn't mean to say painfully, but I'm gonna let you go because you've got 2 minutes, girl, to get on your group. But thank you so much.
No, thank you. And Steve, I look forward to meeting you one day.
Thank you, Stephanie. I had her info up the whole time, so.
That music. I know. I think it drowned her out though by mistake. Sorry, Steph. I wanted you to get to your meeting.
The fit45.co has been on the screen the whole time, so people can find her that way.
I don't ever want to overstep my boundaries because I want her to come back. So if somebody tells me they got a meeting, they're going.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
Good show, Sizzle.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye-bye. What a night. Do, 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 do.